Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Mysca.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. This is a little bit of a different video. We used to do something similar to this way back in like closed beta. We used to call it on Second Thought, and it would be where we'd watch back certain matches that had some pretty interesting stuff in that we could discuss and go over it. But this game is so incredible that we felt that it was worth even just this one-off doing this game, because it's just crazy.
A bit of background as to how this video sort of came about. So the main thing is that basically I sent Ryan this game because he asked for some DPS gameplay. Or we talked about like getting some DPS gameplay for a video that he was doing. And I was thinking, okay, well I played some DPS recently because I sort of tried to transition over to it. And yeah, I had this soldier game, and I was just, this seems perfect. This seems like the sort of game that could go well in a video, could be interesting in the background. I saw some people point out, actually, like, certain things about this video that we'll get to later. Certain things about the gameplay, rather. But we wanted to talk about it in this video, so we're just gonna get into it, and we're just gonna just press play and talk about what's going on, and you'll see sort of why this game is interesting, because it's got a lot of different aspects to it that you will have to deal with when playing Overwatch Ranked.
Exactly.
At some point. But yeah, let's just get started. Just gonna play. There we go. Okay, so we're playing Soldier 76 on Volskaya. We're attacking right now. We don't have a lot of time. Now, I'm pretty sure that both teams here actually attack the map incredibly quickly. We both, as you can see, the enemy here has about 6 minutes nearly on their timer. And I think we had roughly the same time, so we were already in a bit of a frustrating moment here.
Right.
And we'd been trying for a while to get in. And we finally did, and this was our sort of successful push in. Our lineup had changed quite a lot over the course of it, because we felt like we had some like role sort of issues as we were attacking here. I'm not sure if I was actually on Soldier the whole game, straight from the start either. But yeah, I switched over because we had few good / competent / confident DPS players. So that's why I'm playing Soldier, even though I mostly play tanks nowadays. I'm playing with my friend Iron, who's playing Zenyatta. But yeah, we finally capped this objective, and we are very short on time, as you can see. And at this point, we are just trying to salvage this game, basically.
You have the perfect team to just go on to the point now with a Reinhardt and a Diva. Just to this is something that I think takes a lot of discipline anyway. It's a shame that your Reinhardt died, but
yeah,
in those situations where it's just get on to the point, going onto the high ground is quite a sort of smart thing to do. Even though you drop down anyway, it was a good sort of flag to take because you don't get instantly like gibbed. But Reinhardt's back up, and you just, this happens quite a lot, to be honest. I think in all sorts of games where you just end up running onto the point last second and actually managing to take it. But
yeah, exactly. So I feel like sometimes the whole overtime thing really gets people sort of thinking and sort of, well, just it gets them more aggressive, and because of that, sometimes you do take objectives in overtime. I don't think it just has to do with the enemy team thinking, oh well, it's basically over, and putting down their guard. So as you can see, we do cap a bit of the objective here. The percentage is going up in the top left there. So right now we have a chance to actually win this game and not just draw it if they would get their first point.
You have at least another minute, even.
Yeah. So we actually managed to even finish the map, but we have obviously no time left. The time bank is empty, and everything's looking pretty good. We're all pretty happy. As you can see, a person in my chat here says, "Let's get Torb," smiley face. This is where the interesting bit starts. So we're talking about our lineup here. Ryan's wearing headphones. He can actually hear what's going on.
I was just going to say, you mentioned there the reason why I took that is because you sorted out your team, you started talking, and you played DPS.
Yes.
So it was just a good way to sort of nail it. That's a good point as well, that you've been playing much more DPS, I think.
Yeah.
People always ask us why we don't necessarily play together, and it's literally, we play the same heroes.
Yeah.
And it causes a lot of problems.
Yeah, it really does. It's kind of unintentional, honestly. I started playing more often series back in beta, but we sort of switched over, both of us, and eventually we both sort of started playing Winston, and I sort of started picking up Reinhardt because I had to in a lot of games when I was playing solo, and then all of a sudden we were playing together again a few times. We noticed that we have the same hero pool. So now I'm trying to expand my hero pool a lot. I'll switch it up a lot. We're not going to talk about it in this video. We might talk about it in another video. But we got the defense set up here, and the main thing is that earlier in this, brought up, and I talk a lot when I play Overwatch. I'm sorry if you run into me in ranked queue and you feel talking too much is a problem, because I talk a lot. So I actually bring up the fact that, are we going to talk about our lineup, or are we happy with this? And everybody runs out from the spawn and doesn't say anything. So I assume, okay, well, I assume we're fine with this, in that case. So we run this lineup. Everybody's in voice chat, by the way. Every single person in this team is in voice chat, so they could hear me or at least respond back. And some people do, as you can see, Sandy Boy here is actually talking, and the enemy just sort of rushes in. There's no attempt at really breaking the choke or not. I didn't really see where exactly our Reaper was. The point is we had really terrible choke pressure and they just sort of ran straight through.
Yeah. That first pick is so important as well because he's like the main thing that's going to stop you coming through the door. And a D.Va is just going to... I do it with Winston now and again. It's just a really... I think people get so caught up in fighting in chokes, whereas a Winston's a D.Va. Just go through, go straight onto the point. There's a Tracer, go around. Pull people back, make it so they don't know whether they want to stand and defend the choke as like a Reinhardt on Orisa, or whether they should get back.
Yeah, exactly. It's very good to do in sort of, honestly, like Diamond and below. It works for a lot of the whole, a lot of the games. And this is the interesting bit. We lose the first point. I talked to a person about the whole Torb thing because he asks, why didn't we get a Torb? And I tell him, well, I asked if we could get a Torb. We talked about it, and nobody responded. So, yeah. And then
no Torb.
Yeah, and so no Torb, yeah, and he leaves the voice channel, and then this other person DCs, I think, because he was kind of not related to the issue. He was the person that picked Reaper sure instead of Torb, but nobody was flaming him or anything like that, and yeah, he just leaves the game. So we're 5v6 here, and this other person that actually left the voice channel just before, Reinhardt, actually came back shortly after.
Okay.
But the main thing is we're 5v6 and we have to defend this point, right? We have basically 5 minutes to do it. I'm already dead. I'm pretty sure the game's over here.
Res.
That's a very brave res. That I'm not sure how she actually got off, but yeah.
So the attacking team used like 3 ultimates at the same time, like High Noon, Bomb, and all that jazz,
yes.
and Moira's ult, where, like, at least with the Mercy ult, they staggered it out, but the longer that this fight goes on, for the more it starts to benefit you guys, because everybody's coming back from spawn.
Yeah.
And you're getting ultimate so quickly. You used it about, what, 30, 45 seconds ago, and you're already on 50%, and you're just going to, like, absolutely hammer into a D.Va now, so you've...
Yeah, exactly. Basically got it again. Yeah, this is something I do a lot on Soldier. I I notice a lot, and it's kind of a bad habit almost, but I deal a lot of damage, and sometimes I don't get to finish kills. Yeah. It depends on, like, my team, and it depends on how fluent we are in, like, our lineup and so on, and how mobile we are as well. Yeah, I'm able to get my ult fairly quickly here, and I'm just focusing on literally that, like, staying very effective, not trying to take a break to maybe take a different position or flank or something. I'm trying to really stay on top of things here. As you can see, I keep going back to this high ground over and over, because they don't seem to have figured out how to really deal with it. That last fight started on the high ground, and it worked out well, and as you can see in this next push here, it's going to be another one of those really...
Well, they don't have a barrier either, so it's, like, easy... free damage you can get off to a lot of people as well. Yeah. But it's just really interesting to sort of watch this. I mean, the good thing about losing a player is you lost another DPS. If you lost maybe a tank or a healer, it might have been a little bit more one-sided. But yeah, for sure. Good ultimate. I think the Discord calls that Iron's been put on was pretty good. Maybe an unnecessary trance there, but like it's better safe than sorry. You are 5 versus 6.
Yeah, exactly. That was our whole mentality. I remember as well. I think I say it a few times, but like I talk a lot about maintaining a good ult economy here, and that's important when you play a proper 6v6 game as well. Exactly. But it's extremely important when you just 5 people, because that could be the difference if you use a Zen ult or not. Imagine you just have 1 ult left, and that's a Zen ult, or imagine having no ult left. All of a sudden, a Grav might just end the game.
You have a lot of different kinds of ultimates as well, which is quite, you know, if you had lost a D.Va instead of a Reaper, for example, you've got 2 very aggressive ultimates with Tank Buys and Reaper ult, but the D.Va one's really good for being aggressive, but also just throwing it to clear the point or whatever. Yeah. Because they're not running a Lucio or whatever, they're quite slow to get on the point, and I think teams are really susceptible of this, where you know what direction they're going to come from on Volskaya. So if you're gonna go in, you need to not piss about, basically. Yeah, exactly. And the amount of time that it took from the start of that fight, you killed the Tracer, now they're on the point, and it's just...
Yeah, so the thing is, I noticed this with the Tracer, and she did this the last push too. And this is another kind of interesting thing. And I've noticed this a lot more lately when I've started sort of trying a lot harder again, basically, and playing a lot more comp, that there's a lot of patterns in people's play, and this Tracer kept doing this thing where she would blink out, she would sit still to not make any noise or whatever. That bubble was a shame. She would sit still to not make any noise and then wait to try and blink out or blink in, depending on what they were doing. So there she was doing that whole thing of just sitting there and not trying to bring any attention to herself, to then blink in and pulse bomb someone or something along those lines. And yeah, she paid for it.
Yeah,
but
I think the enemy team are overthinking it as well. Probably really tilted by now that they've wasted 5 minutes, 5 versus 6, and still haven't got it.
yes, exactly.
But again, you've got your ultimate, and you haven't died since really. You've only died once since this push, and
yeah,
going over some of the IS ducks I remember saying to me is just the element of you want to get your ultimate as much as possible. You want to use it when you have it, and dying's the worst thing you can do when it comes to that win condition, which is
yeah,
just
exactly. So the main problem in this push here, and this is why this pick is so big, and I think I shout out in chat like, oh wow, I actually got the Moira. And the big thing about getting this pick and like getting this initial sort of aggression on the fight, and this was very worrying, we'll get to that, is that we actually only have my ultimate here. We only had my ultimate for the entire start. Valkyrie was down, like Zenult was down, all that stuff was down, and it was below, like between 50 and 20, so it was very low. See, he's only just getting to his Earth Shatter here as well on Reinhardt, but they pushed out to try and kill us. So what we do here is that we just try and push out again. I ult early, but I realized the Genji's in there, so I have to run out. I run straight on the point and I die straight away. But the Earth Shatter that is now finally up is like just in time and actually sort of saves this fight for us, because we get a pretty big stun off. I think we get 2 picks, and then that sort of gets our snowball rolling again.
Yeah.
And we're actually able to clear out the point and win the game.
Easy SR, gimme.
Yeah. So
I think that also goes to show how really strong Valkyrie is as well, because that kept you in that fight, really.
Yeah,
it rescued
exactly.
twice, but it kept everybody alive and topped up as well. So.
Yeah, so, and I think that fight at the end was really, that whole thing should have happened earlier and could have happened earlier if the enemy actually just played a bit better, to be honest. But we kind of got saved by our ultimates. Like, sure, they were down, but Valk and Earthshatter came back up right as we got up back on that point, pretty much. And that's pretty much what saved the game. Because we maintained good ult economy throughout that whole thing, but we had to use some extra ults to keep the point, because we were one person down, but they were used just early enough / late enough to be back up. And that was kind of what won us that last fight, and I mean, that's sort of decides the whole game, really. I think the whole game kind of came down to that last fight. But yeah, the main thing about this that I want to say is just talk more, because it matters so much. Not necessarily because the calls are amazing in Diamond, but because it keeps people awake. And it keeps people like thinking and actually doing stuff rather than going into this autopilot mode that we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, I think people just assume as well that when you go into a game that people aren't going to talk, that you're going to get somebody being tilted and stuff like that, and you almost go in with these requisites, I suppose, of just what a ranked experience is going to be. But you could easily change that by just sort of talking at the start of a match and just being a bit more firm with some people to make sure that everybody's like, you're in the same team, everybody's working together, they want the win.
Yeah, don't get me wrong though, sometimes that can go wrong as well though. I've pointed out that, like, I remember playing a Horizon Lunar Call in a game not too long ago, and an enemy Hanzo just had a lot of space to work with. He was not really contested much at all, and we had a Winston the whole time. Now, I can't remember what hero. I think I might have been on Roadhog, but I was, because of that, a lot further back. And I remember telling him, like, why are you not sitting on top of the Hanzo? It's like, that seems like the obvious job for Winston here. And that really got that guy going and got him kind of upset at me. And another person joined in who had probably had some other more toxic person in his previous game, and they basically ganged up, sort of not on me in a way that they sort of said that, oh, don't listen to this guy, he has nothing to say. And because of that, we didn't really use voice chat. I think we ended up winning that game anyway somehow. But the point is that, like, sometimes talking a lot or being very sort of firm or more like straightforward and not sugarcoating anything around your teammates can definitely sort of trigger some people.
And they can win 5 versus 6.
Yeah, well. Exactly. But yeah, that was pretty much why we wanted to bring up this video, because it has a lot of stuff that Overwatch ranked has. It has frustrating moments on attack. You know, we both had about 6 minutes or 5 minutes to attack the first point. It took us forever, but we didn't really give up. So that's the main thing. Like, if you start tilting there, you sort of lose yourself the game already. When we lost a person, that definitely does happen, and I think everybody's won a 5v6 at some point here and there. Even if it's been straight towards the end of the game, it's not impossible in sort of Diamond and below. It definitely does happen. Sure, it matters a lot more in higher ranks where you get punished more for making mistakes and so on. But yeah, like I said, that was a big part of it. And overall, just being open to sort of your hero pool and exploring different picks. Not necessarily during that one game. It wasn't like I picked up Soldier that one game and just sort of learned how to play him in one match.
Yeah.
But I knew that we didn't have any other confident DPS at the time. And I knew that Soldier was my only DPS that I could play, but it could fit it well into this lineup. So, yeah.
Pretty interesting, pretty crazy game. Hopefully people learned a lot from that and just watching it. But do let us know if you'd like to see more videos like this. It's been a while since we've done something like that.
Yeah, it's very different.
But it's, you know, it's over the holiday season. It's a good opportunity to just, you know, we're going to be kicking back a little bit with families and stuff. So it's a good time to put out some more casual videos, I suppose. But do let us know if you'd like to see more of this. If we have any more crazy games that some weird shit happens.
I do.
I've
got some.
Let us know below in the comments. And till next time, take care. We'll see you then.